Hello. Hello there. If there's somebody there, could you put just a comment to say that you can see and hear me? That'd be great. Thanks so much. Hi, Tina. Thank you. Great. Just give it a minute, Tina. I think there's a couple more people coming to join us. Hi, Donna. Thank you. I can see messages coming through now. That's great. Okay. I'm going to have to ask you to bear with me today, guys. This is my first time ever doing a Facebook Live, and interesting that I picked a topic, freedom from anxiety, because this is one of the things that used to cause me a whole lot of anxiety, the thought of actually coming on here and talking to people online. So here I am, and thanks Mil for being here with me. I really appreciate it. All right, I'm going to kick off. I did say that these would be kept to 20 minutes or so, and today will probably be the longest one because I'd like to just give a little bit of context as to why I'm here and what we're all about. So obviously we're all going through the pandemic. We're under level 5 restrictions, and I'm not out and about very much, but I am talking to an awful lot of people online, and it seems to me that there's an awful lot of people stressed and anxious at the moment, and it's no wonder. So I'd like to begin today by just telling you a little bit about my story, and just to give a bit of context as to why I'm here sharing this with you. And I'm sharing it with you also because I'd like to give you some hope and show you that there is a way forward for you if you're somebody that suffers from stress and anxiety and everything that goes with that. Hi Maura, lovely to see you. Thanks for coming. So yeah, and just to show that it doesn't have to be like this for the rest of your life. And there was a time when I thought that it did. So I suppose my background that most people know about is that I've worked in human resources for my whole life. But as part of that career, I've also been very involved in personal development. And I've been a behavioural coach for many years. I've studied a lot of things, NLP, CBT, IET, EFT, and on it goes, relaxation, breathing. I've tried counselling, I've done a lot of different things, and they all helped me along the way at certain times. But I did get relief from my own anxiety sometimes, sometimes for weeks, sometimes for months, but it always came back, and it always came back with a vengeance. And when it came back, it felt really personal and really private, and when I was in it I wasn't able to talk about it, I wasn't able to ask for help, I wasn't able to share about what was going on for me and what I was experiencing. When I was in times of relief I was able to share with people. So the people around me, I suppose, learned over time that I had a lot of rules in place, I had a lot of controls in place, and I was putting these in place as coping strategies and mechanisms to try and manage and control my own thinking and the impact of the stress and anxiety that I was feeling. And I suppose what happens is I started to lean very heavily on all the tools and techniques, and my world became very small. And even as I say this, it's a bit emotional for me because I isolated myself, I withdrew more and more, and I just, like I say, my world became very small, and I see that happening for a lot of people around me over the last number of months. There is another way, so I guess that's why I'm here. and more important than any experience that I have in HR or personal development, I think the most important thing I can bring to this conversation is my own experience and what I learned that was able to move me from living a life where I was very limited. You know, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. I certainly wouldn't have been on a Facebook Live. You know, I had really boxed myself in terms of what I could and couldn't do, what strengths I had, what weaknesses I had. You know, I really didn't allow myself to move beyond my comfort zone because it was too painful and too uncomfortable for a very long time. So anyway, I suppose what this understanding has done for me is it's moved me from being in that place to really my experience of stress and anxiety for the most part has just melted away. And I know that sounds really weird if you're in a place where you're feeling any stress and anxiety at the moment, but that's what it was. So I think there's hope in that. So moving on from me, and moving on from all the excuses that I used to make and all the rules that I had in place, a few years ago I bumped into a new understanding, and I suppose the same way that I'm hoping people will bump into this by showing up on these Facebook Lives and getting an introduction to this. And it was just that understanding of the psychology of how humans experience life, I suppose. And getting that into my muscle and getting a real understanding, not an intellectual understanding, but on a deeper level, really understanding how we work, I suppose, that helped me. So what is this anxiety? I'm going to use an analogy today, and I'll keep it that simple and hopefully I'll keep it short. So I'd like you to imagine that you're watching the news on the television, and the ticker tape with all the breaking news stories and the latest news is going across the bottom of the screen. And I suppose our mind is like that. We have a ticker tape running through our mind constantly, all day, every day. And there's thoughts on that ticker tape. And it's when we jump on those thoughts, particularly the ones that we don't like and the ones that scare us and that make us feel uncomfortable, that we feel anxiety. Now we're born into a world of thought. Our ticker tape is moving, but it's blank when we're born. And as soon as we're born, people start writing onto this ticker tape. You know, our parents, our caregivers, our pals, our siblings, our grandparents, our teachers, you know, we learn from what's going on in the world around us, from society, from what the culture we grow up in, and all of that. And one of the things that we learn very early is that what's going on around us on the outside that we're looking out at determines how we feel on the inside. And that's a huge innocent misunderstanding, because what's going on out there has nothing to do with what's going on in here. It doesn't determine how we feel, and it doesn't have the impact that we think it automatically has. Now, this is all very innocent. I mean, our parents learned this at a very young age, so they passed on the learning to us. Our grandparents learned it. Everybody around us learned it. But it's actually an inside-out job. And I'll talk about that in a bit more detail on other tapes. So this is embedded into us very early. And as we're growing up, I suppose, this blank ticker tape, the thoughts just start getting written on it. Now, all those thoughts are neutral until we jump on them and start putting meaning on them. So the way you could think about this is all the people around you are all writing on your ticker tape. But if you look at the ticker tape, it's the same font. The font is the same size, it's the same colour, nothing is bolded, nothing's in italics, nothing's underlined. The same way as you look at the ticker tape on the news, it's all written in the same font and it's just passing through. So, you know, you wake up in the morning and it kicks in and it starts. Oh, it's time to get up. Will I have a shower? Will I have tea or coffee this morning? I wonder what the kids will be doing in school today. Oh God, I have that awful meeting. And then we get stuck. We focus in on the awful meeting. And I suppose the value of this understanding is that when we see that there's thoughts going around all day, every day, I think the experts say we have 60 to 80,000 of them every single day going around on our ticker tape. and a lot of the same ones every day. There's not a whole lot of fresh ones. But when we see that this is ticker tape and that the thoughts on it are neutral, that they're not personal, that they don't mean anything about us unless we put meaning on them. It's our interpretation of what's on the ticker tape that creates the feeling. And tomorrow we'll take a deeper exploration into the nature of thinking and feeling and where our thoughts and feelings come from. But when you realize that everything that's on your ticker tape is just words and thoughts and it's neutral, then you don't have to be so afraid of your own thinking anymore. And so there's two things going on there, regardless of where we are in our life. Whatever is going on in the world around us, there's stuff being written onto our ticker tape, whether we're 2, 22 or 92. And at the same time, we have this constant stream of thoughts running through our awareness, our mind, over and over and over. And when we see that those two things are going on, and we see that they're not personal to us, it's just the nature of thought, that's how thought is designed, that's the default of thought, then we don't jump on, or we're not as inclined, it's not so compelling to jump on the ones that we don't like and the ones that we think scare us. And when we get a bit of space between the thoughts and ourselves, there's freedom in that. They go together, the writing on it and the fact that it's running all the time. But what I didn't know before I came across this understanding was, I didn't know that that was the nature of how thought works. I didn't know that everything on it was neutral. And I didn't know that I didn't have to take instruction for my thinking, that it wasn't truth, that it wasn't real, that the things that I was feeling were as a result of my own interpretation and the meaning I was putting on. Because, the nature of thought is to move, it's transient, it's neutral, it's transient, and it's impersonal. When we jump on something like that, then we focus in on the anxious thinking, and then we start layering more and more thoughts upon it. And we create a tangle in the ticker tape. And when there's a tangle in the ticker tape, it's like a log jam, and the thoughts can't flow the way they're designed to flow. So when we see that they're neutral, you're sitting there going, my tea is going cold. Oh, I got a message on my phone. Oh God, there's that person that really freaks me out. If we know and realize that that's just thought passing through our awareness and we don't jump on it, then because thought is designed to continuously move and be in motion, a new thought comes along all by itself, and along with it comes a new experience. Because the thoughts that are going through our ticker tape and the meaning that we put on those thoughts as they travel through is what's creating our experience. So if we don't jump on, the thoughts keep moving and a new experience is created all on its own. So I think that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. It's not important what's on the ticker tape. The content is really not what's important. And that's where we get lost. What is important is that there is a ticker tape. The fact that there's a ticker tape inside. And the fact that it's a natural thing. And the fact that it's neutral, it's transient, and it's not personal. There's an old Shakespeare quote, something around everything is neutral until, or something along the lines of that, I can't remember it now. I had it in my head earlier, but it's gone. So it's just realizing that the ticker tape is running all the time. And realizing that when we don't jump on and we don't create the tangles, the thoughts keep moving, fresh thoughts come through, and we feel better. So before I knew this, I was very seduced by my own thinking. And I was very compelled by my own thinking. It looked real. And if it looks real, then you have no choice. And if it looks scary, you're going to feel scary. You have no choice. Because our feelings are a reflection of our thoughts. And as I said, we'll go into that a bit more tomorrow. So So that was it really for today. I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of a flavour about the nature of what we'll be talking about here over the next 30 days. What I'm really hoping is that over the next 30 days that you can get just a glimpse of the possibility of all of this. Because anxiety used to rule my life, but it doesn't anymore. And that's the difference that this can make. So that's all I have to share today, guys. Thank you for giving up some of your Sunday. Hi, Kay. Sorry I didn't see you. Maria, Julie. Oh my goodness. Melanie. You're great. Any questions? I'd love to take questions. I don't like doing all the talking. There's much more meaning in a conversation. So, or even if you want to just throw a comment in, does this mean anything? Does it resonate? Do you recognize yourself in this? You know, it's funny because even, you know, a couple of years ago, I would have been sitting here and I'd have had sweaty palms, my heart would have been racing, I'd have been all tense, I'd probably have had a headache. And today I can just sit here and be myself. And it's such a wonderful transformation. There's a lot of friends on here today. I really appreciate your support. I'm glad I'm not talking to myself today, guys. Thanks a million for coming along. Julie says it resonates with her. That's great. Thank you, Julie. Tina says, wise words. Louisa is here. Hello, Louisa. Oh, you just got the last 4 minutes. Well, I'll be here every day for the next 30 days, so feel free to come in and join any day you like. It'll be 1 o'clock for about 15, 20 minutes every day. Hi, Colette. Colette says, thanks for the reminder. That's great. Tina says, resonates with me too. Brilliant. That's fantastic. Oh my goodness. I'm blown away with all these lovely comments. So that's it, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. As I said, we're going to explore a little bit deeper the nature of thoughts and feelings. And I also want to tell you that over the course of the next 30 days, I've invited some of my colleagues that are also coaches in this innate health space to come and share what made the difference for them in terms of their before and after, because anyone that's become a coach in this line of work has travelled the road of stress and anxiety for themselves and has had their own journey. So it's great. So looking forward to seeing you all over the next 30 days. And Donna says thoughts are not facts. Absolutely, Donna. Very succinct. I couldn't have said that better myself. So it's great to see you all. Have a wonderful Sunday, and hopefully I'll see you all during the week if you have a chance to pop in. So take care, guys. Thanks again. Love you all. Bye.